What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today I've got the total altcoin market cap pulled up in front of us. Of course, we'll peek over there at the Bitcoin price chart, XRP price chart, and several other altcoins. But obviously, we've gone through a lot of turmoil or a lot of turbulence here in the cryptocurrency market over the last 24 to 48 hours, with the Bitcoin price taking a big fat dump and, well, the altcoin market reaching back up to that all-time high, and then boom, volatility showed up. Just a couple of days ago, we were talking about volatility showing up. I mean, I couldn't even imagine volatility being that high right there. Obviously, today, the cryptocurrency market has not shown some sign of immediate recovery. We do see that, yesterday we were talking about how volume came in, huge buy volume came in there on the hourly chart to really stop all of that craziness that happened. So the buy volume exceeded what the selling volume was. So the dip definitely got bought on a lot of these altcoins. And sure enough, the price has held there for the last 24 hours, and we haven't had anything crazy happen since that moment. And for a lot of the newcomers in this space, seeing that type of volatility show up in one day may seem like, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. This has never happened in markets before. But seasoned cryptocurrency veterans will tell you that happens all the time. To see a 25 or 27% price swing happen in a day does happen here quite often. This is the most volatile market in the world. We can see even in our bull run all throughout 2020 and 2021, there were many times where you just had these big flashers happen. You can see the total altcoin market cap pulling back 33% right there, super fast. We can see this one right here pulling back 35% just in, lightning speed. This one right here, 33%. So these types of moves have happened the whole way up. Pretty sure this one's even going to exceed it right down in here. And it does by 1%, 28% right in here. So we have these types of things happen even when prices are moving to the upside. And well, as we're back at the all-time high for the total altcoin market cap, we were talking about volatility showing up as you go back to try to hit it again. Boy, that was a lot of volatility, but it's something that does happen when you go back to try to hit all-time highs once again. We can even see back in the 2017 bull run, all of these moves right here, you could see many, many times where you just have these massive one-day pullbacks, 38% in one day. Here we go, another one, 38% in one day. And this one was a big one right in here, 47% in a day over in the total altcoin market cap. So these things are scary. These things are wild when they happen. And when you're living in the moment of them, it's just kind of like, all right, let's watch and see what happens here. And I'm kind of still in that moment right now. I've been eyeing the Bitcoin price chart over here. Happy to see that, hey, the price did hold there after that volume came in. Price held for XRP as well, with big buy volume coming in down in here. But we haven't seen anything crazy happen, right? There hasn't been some type of immediate recovery. However, this does look very similar to what happened in regards to kind of our flash nosedive that we took back in March of 2020 when the C19 scare was happening. And while OneCoin has shown no sign of caring about that, even though it did take just as big of a plunge yesterday. You can see over here that Algorand did take a 31% plunge yesterday, but since hitting that bottom, it is currently up 71%. So we're not showing the whole market absolutely falling apart. And even one of the leaders that we track over here, Luna, has made a nice recovery here, reclaiming that whole fall that happened yesterday, right back at that price level. But the big mystery, of course, lies over here with Bitcoin. At least it does for me. I always look at Bitcoin as the leader of the market, telling the story of what's happening with the market. And we know that Bitcoin got back up to retracement levels, right? It got above the 618 level, coming in just shy of the 702 retracement level, and then taking this big plunge to the downside. Retail investors getting told to all buy at the exact same time while up in these retracement levels. That's all signature markings of, things that happen. That's the kind of behavior I expect, I mean, the whole El Salvador stuff never even came into being a narrative until down in here, and then they used it as the climatic narrative up here in the retracement levels. That all sounds like manipulation kind of stuff to me, or at least, not necessarily price manipulation, but retail emotional narrative perception manipulation. You needed a story to go along with the price action. Otherwise, what story would there be here? There haven't been a bunch of companies coming out saying they've added it to their balance sheet. Tesla certainly hasn't said anything during all of this. The last time we heard from Elon Musk and Tesla regarding Bitcoin was way back in here. There had to be an additional narrative to go with it. So the big question comes is Bitcoin being rejected here at the retracement levels, or is this just a step back? And right now there's just not enough information. So what I do is I look back at Elliott wave counts, right? And this is still going to be what I'm sticking with for myself. Then I'll take this stuff off the screen right here, and I say what we have here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, still waiting for 5. And within wave 2, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have pulled back to wave 4. And there's still one more wave to go. So we take all this off, I look at it closer, and I say, all right, can I spot any Elliott waves within here? And I'm kind of just walking you through my thought process, because right now I don't know what's going to happen with Bitcoin, if this has a little bit further to pull back or not, or if this level is going to hold right here. Are we going sideways for a little while? Are we about to pull an Algorand where it just turns on itself and flies to the upside? I don't know. But I have to look at my bigger picture perspective and say, have things completely fallen apart on themselves because of the fact that we've gotten back to these retracement levels? And I'm just going to show you the things that go on in my mind. So I say to myself, all right, if this was wave 4, then I see an ABC correction happening in here. Then I need to find a way to say for Elliott wave theory that we come back in and we take out wave B. And that in order to take out wave B, I've got to see wave 1 get us above wave B. It doesn't matter how high it gets. If it just gets like $1 above it, fine. That's fine with me. But looking for wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I'm in wave 1 right now, heading up to try to take out wave B, then I need to see some type of structure happening in here, right? Let's say I have a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Could that work? Sure, that could work. Then we come in for an A, B, C correction in here, and then we step our way up higher. But from a technical perspective, with wave 3 right here, well, wave 4 could pull all the way back down in here to $36,700. That's a pretty big dip. So I'll get this off of here, and I say, well, do I see any Elliott wave structures happening within here? I think one thing I really noticed right here is I see that this price level really did hold right in here. Why were we holding that, right? This is a level that held us down back on August 1st, which technically means that was also a monthly resistance area. So let's look at that on a monthly time frame, and what do we see happening in here? And we can see there was monthly candles that came in right in there. So technically, that was a monthly hold that happened right in there. Does it mean anything? I'm uncertain, and nitpicking what the Elliott wave count's going to be in here is going to be pretty difficult on these smaller time frames. Could this technically be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 comes in and takes out wave B? It's possible. Elliott wave theory does say wave 4 does not cross wave 1. I have seen it cross wave 1 many times, but usually just barely. But you're kind of getting to see here what goes on in my mind live during kind of the crazy time periods, looking for where we're seeing temporary supports, what are volumes looking like coming in on those time periods. Are there any signs anywhere else in the market that are indicating that that was the bottom that came in? And what are we looking for? Because right now, we all know where we're at. We just got into retracement levels and got pushed down. Is it a trap? Is it some type of back test coming in? You know, do you have kind of a head and shoulders type thing going on down in here? And this is nothing more than the back test of the neckline, a violent back test of the neckline. Those types of things happen. But in general, a lot of my opinion comes back to looking at the total altcoin market cap. Again, it went back all the way up to the all-time high. Volatility back at all-time highs is normal, and we're clearly right in the thick of it right now. Now, one of the things I do, of course, is I study a lot of what has happened in this market in the past. Do we see these types of things ever happen historically with different altcoins? One of the coins I take a peek at to see how this market has behaved previously has been Sia coin back in here. Obviously, we've had a big run up just like we had for Sia coin. There's been a big fallback. It's been very similar to the same size pullback in here for Sia coin of what we saw during the last bull run. And as we could see, as it got back up into these price levels, you can see the volatility spikes that happened in here at this time period. And then the market continued to break out higher, right? So it's not uncommon to see that you're going to have a lot of big volatility happen in these areas which is where things like Litecoin are right now, right? They're in those same type of areas, big volatility spike. Same goes for Zcash in that area, big volatility. And same for Bitcoin Cash, all in here, a lot of volatility, which is just like what we've seen with a lot of these altcoins during previous recoveries and moves back up. That big volatility spikes happen around this time area, and then we keep on trucking. And well, Algorand is over here showing us that that is possible. And Luna over here with that same volume profile where the buying came in much stronger than that capitulative crazy selling that happened, and then prices getting back up in here. And so we're still really just kind of living in the moment of what happened yesterday. There hasn't been any type of big recovery that's happened here. The prices have merely just held at this point, especially over here on the total altcoin market cap. But I stick with, my grander view of what's going on in here. That we had the double tap back test, pull back into the bull flag with our V bottom out of here. And it looks more like a V bottom when you get it like that. And that what we discussed this week leading up to this moment that, and I even showed the examples over there on Bitcoin and the Ethereum price chart and on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, as you get back up into these moments, real volatility starts to kind of break out up in here and it gets sloppy. And this is that segment from Sunday where we're discussing this crazy type of volatility showing up at this point within the total altcoin market cap. Now, if you've been following this channel for the last couple of months, this is really what we were looking for the whole time, right? The altcoin market cap broke out into a new all-time high earlier in the year, double tapped the all-time high, then it had a major breakout with a back test into the bull flag, looking for a V bottom. And we've been getting exactly that V bottom. Typically, in these V bottom style structures, when we get back up here into these all-time highs, from all the examples I have that I've referenced to, that I use to get my conviction, we start to see a lot of volatility show up in the market at this all-time high. So a lot of times in circumstances when you get up in here, you just really start to see a lot of this kind of stuff happen up in here. Now, those are just squiggly lines. Those are not going to be precise, but from all the examples that I've seen in the past and I've lived through and I've looked at on different charts, that's what typically ends up happening. Right when you get back to that all-time high at that V bottom, volatility really shows up in there and you just start bouncing around a whole lot up near the top. So I'm going. And so in that video, it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to live through it. Living through it is not as fun as talking about it like, hey, it's going to be okay. When you feel it happen, it definitely doesn't feel very good, right? But now it's just kind of a waiting game to see if that's right or not. Reality is we got back to the all-time high. Volatility showed up. That's pretty normal. Now it's kind of just a waiting game to see how the market's going to kind of, accumulate, recover. How long is it going to draw out? And we're still just really in the thick of it. It's been less than 24 hours. It's been about 24 hours since all of this has really happened. And so I know, tuning into my channel, I'm sure a lot of people are like, what do you think? What do you think? And this is just one of those moments where I have to sit back and just wait for more information to come out on the charts right now. The information that we do see coming out on the charts so far has been that prices did hold compared to yesterday. That volume that came in on a lot of those altcoins, that buy volume, has still remained as the low today. Some altcoins have recovered. Luna has recovered the entire move down that happened yesterday. And then Algorand has gone on to break into an all-time high. But those are not broader things of the whole market. There's still a lot of work that has to happen in the rest of the market to say we've canceled all of that out. But if we kind of take a step back from where were we at yesterday? Yesterday I was recording a video in the thick of all of it, had to keep recording over and over again because the price action was so absolutely chaotic. And then eventually high buy volume came in, prices held, prices have still continued to hold, and some altcoins have recovered at this point. And that's really just kind of where we're at right now. And now it's time to just continue peeking around the market for me to say, where are the signs of where things are going right now? And we'll still just have to give that again until tomorrow to see, okay, are more of them breaking out right now? If we start getting more breaking out, well, then that's a really good sign. But right now, we just have one that's on my radar. There may be other ones that I don't see, but that's just one that's on my radar, Algorand, and then Luna, because we're talking about it all the time. It's one of the leader pack, right? So we'll keep our eye on this throughout the rest of the day. But, volatility expected to occur up in here. Now it's time to just see some recovery start to come in. And while I wish I could come on here and be like, yeah, we're all good, it's all going up right now, I'm just going to be straight with you. We're in the thick of an intense moment right now. Now we're looking for signs in the rest of the market and for things to show up. But I still remain optimistic. I still hold on to that belief that those altcoins are going to go higher, or at least some, right? I mean, things like we're talking about with Solana. We just watched that thing go full extension. doesn't necessarily mean everything, all the altcoins still have further to go if they've already done a big bull run. But I'm still optimistic on a lot of the stuff I have. So we'll see how far this pullback is for this altcoin market after it has slammed into the all-time high for a second time. But I still hold optimism that we're going to eventually break through that all-time high on that total altcoin market cap. As for what's going to happen this week, are we going to have reduced volatility? Or are we going to see volatility to the upside? Or is this thing just going to bounce all around for a little while? We still just need more information, and that's where we're at right now. But good sign to see volume come in yesterday. The volume held the low. Some altcoins are bouncing back. I'll take it. But all right, guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up for this one. I hope that you're having a better day today. If you're looking for something to do, of course, you can check out my website over here, which is bcbacker.com. This is a course that I put together where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the different altcoin market cycles. I tie them all together to show how the alt seasons have worked in the past. I talk about my personal exit plans in here, and I talk a lot about mathematics and percentages and why those things are so important to me. I also teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within CoinTrader and TradingView. I did also include a market update in here recently on August 31st. It's available to anybody enrolled in the course and anybody who newly enrolls. And you can check out all this educational content over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.